Hello, this is Min Kobayashi, and I'm bringing you my July wrap-up, and I'm sorry I can't edit this video because I fried my computer, plus, yes, new location because I currently don't have a house, which I think I mentioned in my last video that I'm moving, and I wasn't able to secure a lease, and it's been a crazy couple of weeks, so this is going to be unedited and in a weird location. Okay, first of all, the first book that I read was A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. I read this as part of Tome, Topple, and I thought I was absolutely going to love it. I did not. I gave it 2 stars. It was alright. I just found that it didn't have much of a plot, and it didn't have much character development. If it doesn't have much of a plot, I'm fine with it as long as it has a lot of development in the characters, and I can get to know them more. And I thought, it's been like a month. What's his name? The pirate gets a lot of development, however Lila and Cal, who are the main characters, don't. And I think that like Lila's transformation in this book was just a little bit too hasty, and I was like, this is coming out of left field, and I don't believe the things that she's doing. Anyways, and yeah, I was kind of disappointed. And then my second book, which was a 3-star, was Personae, which is a collection of poetry of 33 poems by Ezra Pound. I was loving this so much, and then I was about to finish it, and I was like going to look up stuff about Ezra Pound because I love stalking authors, and I found that he was like crazy anti-Semitic, and that he's an American who was almost arrested, and I think he was tried in like through a court system for being like a Nazi sympathizer and wanting to join the Nazi party, and I'm like, the whole like heroes thing, and I've done a thing on it before, but I'm just so sad that someone who writes so beautiful poetry has to be such a terrible person. And then 3 stars, this was for the read-a-thon. I read The Mysterious Death of Thompson. I don't have who it's by. It's like a collection of pictures and stuff that tells a story, and I thought it was such a unique way to tell a book. Gave it 3 stars, and it's Canadian, and I have an obsession with him, which I went on a long spiel earlier about. And then 3 stars, again, I read The Woods. This is a graphic novel series about a whole high school that is just put into space, and Maddie from The Book Pusher recommended it, and I absolutely loved it, so. And then 3 stars, Circe. I have an entire review about this, and I have such complicated thoughts, and I can't really express them here, and yeah. So if you want to hear my thoughts about why I love this book and why I hate it, go and look it up. And then 4 stars is The Slippery Slope by Lemony Snicket. This is the 10th book in the Series of Unfortunate Events series, and it is the 2nd book I read. I skipped ahead because I've watched the series, and I'd only read Bad Beginning before. And I really, really liked it. I had read a bunch in March when the series came out, and then I like went and read it and finished it in this month, and it was really beautiful. And I love the way he tells, the alliteration he uses, all the different kinds of like dramaticness, and then with like something random. And I love how he doesn't treat kids like they're idiots. He uses a lot of really like mature content, and not mature content, but like adult literacy, and yeah, I really, really love it. 4 stars is The Garden of Proserpine. This is a poem that was mentioned in The Slippery Slope, and I thought it was really lovely. It is one that like I've read over and over since, and yeah, it's poetry by someone. Oh wait, do I not? That's why. I don't have Far From the Maddening Crowd on here, which I did read. I'm pretty sure I gave 4 stars. And I was talking about it in the Tome Topple TBR because I was like, I hated the movie, and I want to figure out why such a classic book has such a terrible movie, and I didn't like it. And I really did like it. I talked about like the love bow tie, which was in here but more explained. And I really like Thomas Hardy, and I'm going to read more of him. I'm not sure why this isn't on my list, but it's not. And then I read The Last Kingdom, which is a book that I finished. I had already read some of it. It is the basis of the novel It is the novel that is the basis of the TV series, The Last Kingdom, and I really love the series. And it is very similar, so I found it hard to enjoy it as much, but I did like that it had more of his childhood, and I would definitely recommend the series. And if you want to do both, I would say read the book first. And then 3 stars is Leonor. This is a poem by Edgar Allan Poe, which I really liked. It was really cool, and it's a short poem, so I can't say that much about it, but I really read a lot of poetry this month, and I love that. And then I also read To the Lake by Edgar Allan Poe, and this was really interesting. I couldn't even put it on my Goodreads because it's not a poem that, like, Goodreads has, but it's lovely. Sorry, I'm still having breathing issues, as I mentioned in my health in June. And I can't edit them out, so just a second. Oh, here's Far from the Maddening Crowd. It's later on. Okay, and then Elegy Write in the Country. This is a poetry by John something. I never write my things when I'm just listing it in my, like, bullet journal. But this is a poetry where the Far from the Maddening Crowd, yeah, I said maddening earlier, that's embarrassing. Far from the Maddening Crowd line comes from in the poetry, and it is a very lovely piece of poetry, and yeah, it has some great scenes and great quotes, and I just wrote them down, and I'm like, I want to reference these. And then I read A Mercy, which is a book that I had read most of it previously, and I just finished this month. It's a book by Toni Morrison. I only gave it 2 stars because I'm just not a Toni Morrison person. I want to like her books. I know how much she matters to Black culture and just development of literature in America, and I just can't relate. I don't like her prose, and I don't like how she writes. And I really want to. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to give Beloved a chance because I've read this in Sula already, but I'm not convinced. And then those were like the books I all read in like the first week. I think 8 days. I almost did a mini wrap up because I was like, holy crap, I read a lot of books. And then with moving and everything like that, and I did some TV watching and just stress and no laptop, I didn't read anything other than Nevernight for the rest of the month, which is a beautiful, very long book, which, oh my goodness, if you want some nice high fantasy book, it's beautiful. Go read it. And it has bloody, and it has everything beautiful. I love the fight scenes. I love, like, yeah, the world. It's like a grown-up version of Harry Potter, kind of like with Hogwarts, not like the actual concept. And yeah, although, like, it is a 16-year-old protagonist, although even J. Kristoff says, do not read this if you're, like, a teenage. It's not YA. It has a lot of, like, mature content in it, a lot of swearing, some sex, very graphic sex, which I'm not a huge fan of, and then also very bloody. But yeah, that was the books that I read. I gave it 4 stars because it was absolutely lovely. I would love to hear which books that you read this month and loved. I apologize again that I couldn't edit this video, and it's a little bit longer because of that. So I hope that you have a great week and a great time, and good luck on your August reading. Bye!